Sounds like a lot of fun. We'll be there for that. In the meantime, Dr. Oz testifying during a Senate hearing on weight loss scams. The TV host criticized for endorsing products lawmakers say don't have a lot of scientific evidence to back them up.
I don't get why you need to say this stuff because you know it's not true. Why would you cheapen your show by saying things like that?
In an intent to engage viewers, I used flowery language. I used language that was very passionate, but it ended up not being helpful but incendiary. And it provided fodder for unscrupulous advertisers.
So Dr. Oz saying it's more about semantics. Those so-called unscrupulous advertisers are looking to grab a piece of the more than $60 billion U.S. weight loss market, which experts say is full of a lot of bogus products. So how skeptical should we be about what we hear on television? Apropos for us today, Dr. Kevin Campbell is joining us with more on this. And the issue really was how Dr. Oz was talking about these products, sometimes describing them as a miracle in a bottle, not just one, but several. In general, as a doctor, what do you think about this, the criticism of Dr. Oz and also his response?
So I think Dr. Oz is a caring physician who truly wants to motivate people to better their lives and better their health status. I think we have to be careful, though, when we try to motivate people, particularly when you're on television and lots of people listen to what you have to say, that everything you say must be based on scientific data so that you don't mislead anyone in any way.
One of the things that he said is, listen, some of these products are not tested. They're not in your traditional scientific testing like a pharmaceutical, but I don't want to keep supplements or other alternative therapies away from my viewers. To that you say what?
I think that we have to be careful with supplements. Supplements have their role. We must understand that the FDA does not approve the supplements. They basically say that whatever you say is in the bottle has to be in the bottle. We don't have to have any scientific data to say their work or are efficacious. However, I think that you also have to make sure you treat your patients with drugs that have been evaluated in randomized clinical controlled trials that we know work for patients.
Senator McCaskill, it's interesting to see her questioning there. She, you know, this is a passionate topic for her. She actually lost about 50 pounds a couple of years ago. She said she did it the old-fashioned way, and it made news. She did a couple of interviews about it a few years ago. And so this is an important issue for a lot of people. But do you think it's a place for the government to get involved? When you saw that the hearing was for Dr. Oz and some members of the Senate, is that where government should step in? What do you think?
I was a little bit surprised. I mean, I still think we need less government, not more. I think that we have to take individual responsibility for our actions as healthcare providers, as newscasters, or what have you, and we are responsible for everything we say and the content that we provide. And we also have to provide patients the opportunity to accept individual responsibility for their health care and their disease process.
When a patient is going to see a doctor, and whether they're being referred to different medicines, either over the counter or not, there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies, medical device companies that are courting doctors and say, use my product for such and such a reason. For that, I'm just curious what consumers should know about that, because doctors are trying to navigate that even off television, and we're the ones that have to follow or would like to follow some good advice. What should we know about that process?
I think you need to make sure that when a doctor prescribes a drug for you or a device or some type of procedure, ask him, what is the scientific data on this? Is this going to improve my outcome? Is this going to improve my quality of life? You want to know that that's been proven in a real way, and it's not just the latest and greatest thing that a fancy drug rep has brought into the office.
So really ask the why.
Exactly. And you have a right as a healthcare consumer to know why you're doing what you're doing, because you want to partner with your doctor in this healthcare plan.
It's a good reminder, because oftentimes you're handed a prescription, given some advice, and you just take it, right? Because it's a doctor, you want to trust them. But it's good to ask the why always. Dr. Campbell, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks
so much.
John?